don't know if I'm live. Seems okay. Yeah. Okay. Seems I'm alive. Okay, so the YouTube live preview is different. So I'm a bit confused now. But anyway. Why is that? Ah, okay. Um. Sorry for being a bit long. I'm confused with the new YouTube Studio Live page, but it seems okay. Yeah, I think I'm live. All right. So thank you everybody for seeing this new version of the Arduboy dev stream. This is the part 22. The part 22, and in this part we will fix some bugs. Or actually, I fixed last time. I left you with some bug that we still had on the main character. So after the stream, I fixed those bugs. So today I will show you the fix I've done, and then we will. I guess we will start to implement the logic for. For being able to switch the screen for the main character to go from one screen to the other screen. All right, so first I will show you the first bug I fixed. So if you remember, we had that bug where I would get stuck in the ladder. Okay, so this one was quite easy to fix. Actually, this bug only happen if you jump on the ladder, and then if you go in the opposite direction of the jump, like this one. I can do it also in that direction. I jump on the ladder, I go in the opposite direction. So if I jump to the left and then I go to the right, I got this. So the fix is very simple. This was due to the air control speed. So because I jumped, then my air control speed was, for example, if I jump to the left, so I was jumping, I had a air control speed to the left. So when I exit the stairs, the air control put me back on the stairs. So basically the fix is simple. When in the init climb ladder, I just reset the airspeed control to no move. That's as simple as that. So let's update to this version, and I will show you. So we update here, and then recompile. So now if I jump it, I can just exit the ladder and works also in both directions. Right, so that bug was quite easy. The next bugs I fixed was when we exit the ladder. So let me show you the bug first. So if I exit the ladder just at the same altitude when the feet is just above the collision. So like I will try to reproduce, yeah, like this one for example. So if I go right, I don't exit the ladder state, I still in the ladder state. And this only works if the feet is just above the collision. So for example, if I move few pixels, just 1 pixel above, then it correctly exits the ladder state. So for this bug, we have actually I don't remember here. Yeah, here in the check static collision, I had another test to go to idle if I'm climbing the ladder, and before I was just checking if there's the down button pressed, but now I am not in front of a ladder, or I am pressing the down button, right? And then I can go to idle. So let's update to that and check again. Update to that version, and then I will recompile. Okay, here I'm just at the level of the platform, and now if I exit, it works. Okay. Then next bug I fixed was the main character climbed down a ladder if it enter in the ladder from the side. I forgot what was that bug. Let the main character climb down the ladder if you enter the ladder from the side. Yep. Yeah, like it was that bug. So if I'm on the ladder and I go down, I cannot go down, I just crouch. Okay, and here it works, but it doesn't work all the time. So if I enter the ladder from the side and I go down, crash. So I fixed that one. To fix that bug, what did I do? It's in the default state. So if I press the down button, before I just go to crouch, but now I'm checking if I'm in front of the ladder and I press down, then I just go to the climb ladder state, otherwise I go to crouch. And here you can see that first I'm checking if the button is down, and if the button is down, I'm checking if the button is just pressed down this frame. So then I go to ladder. Alright, so let's also improve. I changed the map for the test. So let's update to this one, and I recompile. Alright, so I change a bit the level. Okay, so now if I'm going here and I go down, it correctly goes down. But okay, now we still have that issue. This one is, like I told you last stream, is not really a bug. It needs more um, than a bug fix. It's more like a features. So whatever, it needs more code to be able to get the ladder when you are just above it like that. All right, but before that, I have fixed another bug, which was the one that we saw here. When I get collision here and I just go inside the wall. So I had some difficulties to find it, to reproduce it actually. So I searched a long time and jump in every direction before I could reproduce it. But finally I understand how to reproduce it, even it's quite difficult. So basically you have to jump from that direction, for example. So you have to jump on the left. And the head of the main character has to collide with the ceiling. And then what happened is that the main character, instead of being pushed out of the collision to the left, is pushed to the right. So it just go inside the collision. So let me try to reproduce that. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so, and actually it just happen if you just collide maybe just some pixels of the hat, but with the main character facing left. Of course, the bug is also symmetrical if the character facing right, but there is collision on his left. Then we also had the bugs where the main character will go inside the collision. Okay, so when I get this, when I understand how to reproduce it, then it's quite easy to find where the bug was. Basically, it was in the code that moved the main character out of collision. And basically what I've done is I just simplify the code, and I use the same logic as the code we implement to move the character out of collision when it is crouching. So if you remember, when the character crouch, we had the sprite which was wider, and we wanted to check the 3 pixels to see if it's the fit colliding. Okay, and for that we had implemented that logic, like the wall collision, and checking if it's the first 3 pixels. So basically, and I was just checking that in the crawl state. So basically I remove this condition and I always check that. So now that means what? That means I always check if the main character is colliding with the left or the right pixels of the sprite, and then I move out depending on which side is colliding. Yeah, so that just simplify it. And so in that case, even if you jump like this one, but there is collision on here. So if you jump like this, then if it's your back that is colliding, then you will be pushed in the right direction. Or if you are jumping that way, and if it's the front colliding, also you are pushed in the correct direction. So let's update that to see. Okay, so I rebuild it. Okay, so I'll try to do the same. Yeah, and I succeed here, but you see that was pushed in the correct direction. All right, and of course, if I walk here and if I crouch and move in this direction, I can also crouch here, and it still work. Can jump. I can also jump on the wall and it still work. So for example, I can move in that direction. And also the case for when you crouch and you just, for example, you are just close to the, it's not easy to do it. Let me, okay, oh no. Okay, like this one, if I crouch here, I'm pushed in the correct direction also, so. It's not easy, yeah. It's not easy to get this, yeah, like here, if I crouch, I'm also crouched in the correct direction. So I think this seems to fix those bugs. We'll see if the bugs reappear or not. All right, and then the last thing I've done is implemented that logic of climbing down the ladder from the top here. So like I said, for this one, I needed more more logic. So first we had this Boolean flag for knowing if I was in front of the ladder. Then I had another one to check if I'm above the ladder, because when the character is above the ladder, is not colliding with the ladder, so it's just above, but the is in front of the ladder is false because there is no collision, but it's just above. All right, and then I had a new function, check pixel columns, because I will reuse it 2 times. All right, and then I change a little bit the logic. So like in the update state, if I'm pressing the down button, and now I'm checking if I'm in front of the ladder or above the ladder. If I'm in front or above and I just press down, then I go to the ladder state, right? Okay, and here this also becomes a bit more complicated. So we are in the check static collision. So to decide if we go back to idle, so of course if we are falling, but if we are climbing, then now the test is I didn't press the down button and I'm not in front of the ladder, or I press the down button and I'm not above the ladder. Then I can go to idle. Otherwise, I stay in my climb ladder state, right? And this is the case when we found a floor under. So basically, I'm inside the ladder and I detect a collision below under the feet. And then I should go to idle in 2 conditions. Like I said, I didn't press the down button. I just released the down button and I'm not in front of the ladder. So of course I should go back to idle. Or if I press the down button, but there is not another ladder above, then I should still go to idle. All right, and now what I changed more drastically is the check ladder collision. So before we were just drawing the main character in transparent and check the collision right in the middle. But actually, the sprite. So the sprite of climbing here, you can see just in the middle there is empty pixels here, just in between the legs. It's black pixels. So basically, if I'm touching with this pixel, if the ladder is at that height or that height, that height here, I'm not colliding with the ladder, right? So I'm only colliding when I reach this one. Okay, so that create a problem for me, because I wanted to also detect if I was in the front of the ladder when only 1 pixel of the feet or 2 pixels of the feet is touching the ladder. Right, so that's why I had to add more tests. So if I didn't detect here front of ladder, I didn't get any collision, then I do an additional test. I'm basically checking a column of pixel. That's this function here. We will see just under the feet and under +1. So just these 2 pixels in between the legs. All right, so that's for in front of the ladder, and now for above the ladder. This one I had to check also pixel column, also under the feet, and well, so this one was at 11, and this one we start at 17. So 2 pixels under to check if I had if I'm colliding with a ladder. So why 2 pixels is because the ladder are there's pixels in between. So if you are in between the step of the ladder, so if you just check one, you may end up into the in between the step of the ladder. So that's why I had to test it more. All right, that function is just as it say, the check pixel column is just asking for 2 specific pixels, and I'm checking if we are also inside the screen, just to make it sure, because you may have a ladder this just at the bottom of the screen, for example. So all right, so let's test if it works. It should work. So okay, just climb here, and for example here I just crouch, and if I'm here I go inside the ladder. Okay, but just here I crouch, right? And here I also continue on the ladder, right? I can also do that, and I go down. That works also. And in the last one, then I go to crouch, which is the expected behavior. All right, so with that, I think we have finished the behavior of the main character. I think we have removed almost all the bugs. Probably that we will find more, maybe, I'm not sure, but it seems we have a walking main character with the walking with the environment. We have the fall, we have the collision, we have the walk, we have the crouch, we have the ladder, climb, up, down. We have the fire, we have the place dynamite. And here I guess I cannot place a dynamite, of course, so I have to place it here. All right, so I think we have all our behavior for the main character. So now what I want to do is, like I said, is to start to implement the change of the screen. So actually, if you follow this series from the beginning, you may remember that we have started by drawing the map, the full level, and drawing screen by screen. And we had implemented an animation like to change for the camera to switch to another screen, up, down, left, right, etc. So that basically the gameplay of this is you have a small puzzle to solve on one screen. So you have an entry point in one screen, could be on top, could be on the side, whatever. Then you have to avoid arrows, avoid the enemies, the AI, etc. And then go reach the exit point of the screen. And then you will switch to another screen, and the other screen will present you with another puzzle. And basically you go puzzle by puzzle, screen by screen, until you reach the exit of the whole game, of the whole level. I don't know how to call it, right? And to do that, I have decided to use a int and not a char to locate the main character. And some people ask me why, and the reason, tell you why again, is because I want to store the position of the main character in world coordinate, in the world, the coordinate of the whole level. But you may have noticed that a lot of code that we have implemented in the rig behavior is using the coordinate on screen. So we need to know which pixel on screen, for example, to test the collision and stuff like that. So right now it works. It works. Why? Because we only use the first screen with the coordinates 0. So basically the position of the main character in the world is the same as the position on screen. But if I move to another screen, then it doesn't work anymore. So here we have to implement a coordinate translation system. So basically from the world coordinate of the main character, I need to know to translate that into the screen coordinate, right? And so to do that, we will implement a function, and who has this information is basically the map manager have it. So if you remember, the map manager, if you remember those functions we wrote at the very beginning, like the animate camera transition and the draw, so we had those variables inside the map manager, which was the current camera coordinate reference and the target one. So the target, we don't really care for computing the current position of the main character, but we do need to use the current one. So what I will do first is I will add a function here. Should be a public function because the rig will call it, and not only rig but also the AI probably that will also have in coordinate, I think. Probably all many items actually. So function to get the local coordinate. I could return a char. Should I? I'm not sure, because if the value could be negative maybe, or outside the screen, even if it's on screen coordinate. So okay, right now we'll return an int, I say. Get x on screen and world x. I think it's better to have two different functions, but we'll see. I'm not totally sure of what I'm doing right now, so that's why you saw me a bit hesitating. Okay, then we will implement those function after the update, maybe here. Looks good. All right, so the code should be similar to what we wrote in Draw, I think. Sprite x level sprite times y minus transition camera transition. Okay, camera x and y. Oh, this one is, let me write, current camera coordinate reference to the top left corner of the screen portion of the level in the big level array. For the screen. Okay, so this one is not a screen coordinate, but is reference in the index in the big array. Okay, and what is, okay, and x and y was the draw sprite, yeah, by number of sprite per screen. Okay. So I think we should camera x times the number of sprite per screen and the number horizontal sprite per screen times the sprite width where's the sprite width? Camera radical shift. Level sprite width. Okay, that will be the world coordinate of the camera. So I should remove that to the world x, I think. So we remove this, and I think we should also remove because of the camera transition, that should be camera transition X, I think. Probably. So what is camera transition X? This variable is used to store temporary shift of the camera during the transition of animation. And now we'll check the animate camera. Camera transition X. Get a camera speed, and if it's greater than one sprite, then we reset it. Okay. Yep. Should be something like that. And this should be the same for the Y, I think. So it's world Y. This, so NB vertical sprite. Vertical sprite by sprite height minus transition Y. Okay. So now we need to call that function at different position in Rick mainly. So basically, I need to go through the whole code of Rick to make sure we have correctly set it. So for example, that one, get Y, Rick, get Y, yep. Get Y, I think it's inlined. Yeah, it's just Y, okay. Because I found, so this one is just Y plus, okay. And since I want the fit on screen, so that's why I should do map manager get map manager get Y on screen plus 12. So again, I will put the int here because we may fall during transitions. I'm not sure. Oh, I should deal with it. This function, where is it called? Let me search for it. Ah, yeah, it's called from the map manager, I think. and it's called for yeah, to know if we should draw or not. Okay, so we can just test if it's greater than that. So I'm checking if it's greater than 64. Then I will yeah, if it's greater than 60, then I just give 63. Okay. I want to test that. But we should I will change the map data to be so